Richard Hart here. I just want to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
Hey everybody, I don't know what happened there. A few technical difficulties in the studio. It's too trigger happy, that's why. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. And of course, welcome to the live stream today. PulseX Super DEX, over 120 billion PulseX buy and burn. Not just the burn, buy and burn. So buying up the PulseX and burning. I love it, love it, love it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And of course, let's get into it. Let's see who's here today. We got Lies Beneath. Hello, how are you today? I'm good. Now, we have good news and we have some unfortunate news, but the unfortunate news is not around crypto, so we're going to talk about that. We've got the ultimate strategy, though, the golden standard of crypto. Richard Hart taking over the crypto world. Hex, EHEX, PLSX, and the Cent token for the win. 100% there. Always appreciate that, Lies Beneath. We're Angor as well. Hello, Angor. Good to see you. And who else has jumped in here? We've got DJ. JD, good morning all. Good morning to you, DJ. And Dave down under as well. Sorry, I've been away, taking a break. I'm back. I'm back again. Backstreet Boys seems to be popular these days. Good to see you, Dave. It's always good to have a break from crypto. CT in the house there. Hello, rich people, says CT. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun ride. That's for sure. The magic carpet ride for the old Richard Hart ecosystem. And, of course, it reminds me of Richard's tweet the other day, talking about how good Pulsechain and PulseX, but, of course, and some magic too was the end of the line. And some magic. I love that quote there from Richard Hart. And some magic. I like that. We got Hex enthusiast in the house there. Good to see you as well. And great to have everybody here. Now, what was I going to say? The good news, of course, is the PulseX Super DEX is over 120 billion PulseX buy and burn. That's good news. Now, the unfortunate news is the tyranny in our country continues. Our former prime minister who terrorized us was easily the worst prime minister in history by a factor of 100. And they ended up knighting her. Can you believe it? Knighting her for her oppression against the people. It's just insane. So that is the unfortunate news. It does make you want to pick up a bucket and be ill, but this is the way it goes. But that's our sidetrack. This is as much as we're going to sidetrack today. And of course, we're going to move into the good news, which is crypto and PulseX. So it's going to be cool for that. I'm going to get into the good stuff. When in doubt, there's always crypto, right? When in doubt, there's always crypto. Now, we're going to pull up Richard Hart's tweets over the last 24 hours and check those out. So let's do that. We've got Richard Hart here with no expectation of the work of others. What do you think the next big brain plays are for Pulsechain and PulseX? He's got some ideas here. ERC20s to PRC20 pairs. Typically, the popular ones, of course, we've talked about that being one of the most likely scenarios. You want the ones with the good volume turnover, the good big communities like the SHIB and things like that. You want those Peppy maybe, just the big communities. You want those to come over. And, of course, those are the ones that are probably an obvious target. Now, he's also got ERC20 Rat Pulse pairs. He's got that in there as well. So anything that's kind of in that top, probably top 20, 30 communities is probably something you might want to target. More visible tutorials on how to add your free NFTs from Ethereum. Well, I posted one yesterday, didn't I? That was with Hex Toys. So if you haven't checked out that video on how to add your NFT to Pulsechain, check out that video I posted yesterday. Now, I didn't record it, but it was perfectly done. So I posted that yesterday. You can check that out if you want to add an NFT. It's a 721 contract, right? A PRC 721 contract. You can do that. So go for gold. Bridges to other chains, of course. We've got a lot of bridges opening up. It's just starting to. First, it started to rain, and now it's pouring. Now it's pouring with bridges. We're going to be talking about that today as well. What communities would be saved most by the gas savings PLS provides? And of course, that's pretty much everybody on a more expensive chain, right? So get out there and spread the good word. So that's kind of cool. We got lots of responses, of course, from people with their own different thinking here. We've got A-Bit here. Let's work with the big picture. Largest airdrop in crypto history. PRC20 to ERC20s. PulseX might be the biggest yield producing machine in history. We've got K for K out there. I think a Phantom Sacrifice PLS staking pool would be a good opener to the pools. PLSX could be staked with no expectations, unlimited potential. Anyone who stakes could earn some proportion of rewards from the future without necessarily deciding tokenomics. So you got ideas like that. You got DAO to vote, which pairs earn INC on V2. There's lots of different people in there. I glue bamboo suggests motivating E-Link, SHIB, E-Wrapped ETH there to Wrap Pulse, E-Wrapped ETH to PulseX with farms in V2. So that's in there as well. Now you could probably think of some of the staking tokens as well for like staked ETH. You could probably do anything like that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd certainly attract some of the big money. Single-sided staking on PulseX would be great. Obviously, a lot of people are calling for that. And BSC bridge. Beetroot has a bridge from all chains. We've got even more now, obviously. I'm going to talk about that today. Yeah, Atomic Wallet recently got hacked. Need a good wallet. That's true. So that is kind of cool. Lots of stuff happening there. Now, I'm with KDP on this one. Honestly, outbound messaging, everything else being built and on its way for PulseX there. I agree with that. And of course, she's got PRC20s, Wrap Pulse pairs, PLSX, PRC20 pairs. Don't see much value add yet for ERC20 PRC farms without outbounding message. I agree with that. I'm big on that one. I agree with that big time. All right, so cool. And that is pretty much the first one there. So you can get in there and give your ideas. I'm going to post the link to that tweet if you want to give your own ideas. I guess it's ideas. Let's call it ideas. You can post that and get in there and let Richard know what your ideas are. You get a chance to possibly he might pick it up. You just never know. Just never know on that one. So that was 21 hours ago from Richard. Then what else did we get from Richard? We got a retweet here of Hexagon Girl. Hexagon Girl sounds a bit like that old Michael Jackson song, doesn't it? A little bit. I'm just making it up. But anyway, we got GM Hexagons, day 2 of racing with Hex Pulse Lambo. And of course, a lot of you out there like Lambos. Lambos, you can watch live online. So I think they've had these races, but that's kind of cool having the Lambo. Been performing very well, of course. What else have we got there? 8 hours ago. Which coins have you seen on the front page of ranking sites? Go to 0. A little question there. Then we had the actual race, I think, here. 11 there. First race of the day complete for Hex Pulse Lambo. First place and fastest lap. So that's awesome. First place and fastest lap. Well done to Gilbert Yates there for Top Car Racing. So we'll watch that from the beginning. You can see that zipping up. I'm going to mute the music because it's, who knows, it might be copyright. Here's the Lambo. You guys can just add your own sound effects. Vroom, vroom. I don't know how they sound. They sound pretty sort of like that. They sound a bit more like that. So cool stuff there. I can't do much better than being first and a fastest lap. So that's pretty cool. All right. What else we got going here? Let's jump up the top here. We've got PLSburn.com, which we use to do a good summary of the Pulse health of the Pulse ecosystem. We're going to cover that coming up next. People are using PulseBurn.com buy. So they added a buy feature to buy Pulse from a bunch of different chains. So we now have that Pulse multi-chain Pulse buying on this. Like I said, started raining, with the native Pulse, and now you can, it's starting to pour, isn't it, with all the options that are coming out. Can we hit $100 million of economic energy flowing into Pulsechain within 1 month? That would be pretty exciting, right? So you want to get that sort of numbers would be pretty cool. And so they've got it up and running. We're going to talk about that when we get up to the site, pulseburn.com /buy, so you can get a lot of that. You can also use it as a fiat on-ramp as well, using a credit card through a lot of the existing services that are out there. So it's not just a multi-chain buy, but you can actually do fiat buys as well on-ramp. So that's kind of bullish too. Richard Hart there, Ethereum thanked Pulsechain for lowering the ETH gas fees. This was 7 hours ago. Lowering the ETH gas fees and enjoy your free ERC20 copies and NFT copies. Yeah, most people would have got that if they had their assets on Ethereum on the 10th of May at 10:36 at night when the fork happened. So that would be, a very vast majority of people. So pretty cool. Now gas fees are a lot lower there. Now one of the things that obviously has happened as well is that there's a lot more minting of probably the Zen protocol on Pulsechain. The other thing is the memes have calmed down there as well. Pulsechain has definitely had an impact based on this dramatically. And it's just ever since the launch date, it has been really down on the ETH chain in terms of gas fees. So that's pretty cool. Then Richard put out 4 hours ago, and I love this one. This is kind of the background, or not background, of my title of my video, because I was going to do that title anyway. PulseX Super DEX over 220 billion PulseX buy and burn. But is this update here? PulseX.com V1 sends all fees to buy and burn contracts. And of course, that is all the fees that are earned through the trading. And of course, PulseX V2 sends around 5 times less, which is actually more around 4 times. We'll look at that in a second. Less to the buy and burn contract, because LPs earn fees. So in other words, if you provide liquidity on V2, you're going to earn the fees on there. Because they are different markets, arbitrage opportunities and more volume may result. And of course, some people have asked about why some of the prices are differently. Well, hopefully arbitrage will close down some of those prices a bit. Still early days, and more volume may result there. Obviously, between arbitrage, you're going to have more people, more volume going through to take those opportunities with the price differences. Have more liquidity in one place is more gas and slippage efficient. So obviously, if you have more liquidity either on V1 PulseX or V2 PulseX, then that's going to be better for better for gas and slippage efficiency there. So obviously, having more liquidity is better for slippage. You see a lot of those small DGN retail pools have quite a bit of slippage, right? If you got a $20,000 pool of liquidity and you go and buy $2,000 worth, you're going to move it a lot, right? So that's pretty much easy there. So kind of cool there. He did correct that to 4x actually, which is kind of cool. So really neat. There's 2 options there, and it's kind of ended up being quite a good gameplay, right? So V1 there for people that want to do a public good, I guess, and earn that incentive token, because they're the ones that got the farms, or go into a V2 and earn the liquidity fees, and you might get some high turnover and high fees on those pools. Could be pretty attractive as well. Will we see some farms? We will see. I haven't checked it today, but we might check that later on. So that is from Richard Hart there 4 hours ago. What else have we got going on here? Got some stuff about human rights. So I agree with all that. You guys know, hashtag freedom. What else? What actually amazes me is how easy people give up their freedoms and don't care. They don't care. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling what some people do. Anyway, Etherscan is down. That apparently he was facing that. When I went and checked, it was okay, but maybe it was down for a little while there. And of course, Pulsechain scan is up, and Otter is scan is up as well. So obviously, Pulsechain performing pretty well. He just posted this 24 minutes ago. So that's just the Pulsechain.com link. And of course, if you want to check out all the different parts of the ecosystem on Pulsechain, then the link is in the video description. So you can just jump to that if you're new to Pulsechain. The link to Pulsechain.com here is in the video description, which is pretty cool. Let's jump in there to see what people have said. Alternative to buy, pulseburn.com. So they're just promoting that. Kanga Exchange and Safe Trade DEX have both worked for me. These are other exchanges. So Kanga is the big Polish exchange. You can trade on there. They've actually been very supportive of Pulsechain. And of course, that's an interesting avenue actually. And of course, Safe Trade DEX came out second, didn't they? Safe Trade DEX was out second. And of course, the first little small DEX that came out was 50x DEX, if you remember. So yeah, that was the first one come out. We've got so many now. We must be heading towards around about 15 different ways of onboarding now, with at least probably 10 of those with native Pulse options. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, what else we got going? Let's jump away. That's Richard Hart at the moment. We're going to get into the health of the ecosystem. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat and see who else has jumped in here as well. I was actually going to do a poll today, but I just thought I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow instead. You won't believe it. I put the washing out to dry, and I just hear it raining outside now. How miserable is that? So I might have to do it again now. It's kind of just the way it goes. I was trying my luck, pushing my luck here. It is winter in good old New Zealand. What else we got going? Let's jump through some of these. What we got there? We got Christian in the house there. Hello, familiar. Good to see Christian. Definitely hit the likes. We got Detached Soul in the house there. Yo. Good to see a Detached Soul. Who else has jumped in here? We got Brian, one of our 2 community leaders, does an amazing job help educating and helping people. So a big shout out to you, Brian. I notice it all the time. So I'm always looking, and it is awesome Brian does some great stuff out there. Who else there? We got Funkmaster Hex. What's up, my man? What's up, my man? Good to see you, Funkmaster. And who else is in here? We got Toxic is back. Back again. Good to see you, Toxic. We got Paul O'Shea in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see you, Paul. We got Vito in the house there. Smash the likes. Definitely hit the like button. It's easy to do, of course, to smash that away. Let's jump through some of these comments. Machiavelli in the house there with the burning fires. I like that too. And definitely smash the like one there from Pulse Bezos. Good to see Pulse Bezos and Anita in the house as well. Always come back to Anita. Always think about all your grandchildren that you set up X stakes for. That was a very cool video. I remember that. It was very, very enjoyable. Brent Morgheim, is it? Morgheim. Thank you, Richard. You're the man. 100% Richard is the man. And of course, we love his video.
Here, I just want to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
So there we are, Groothy there with Brendan with that with those sentiments. So very cool. Mark is in the house. Thank you for keeping those videos current and educating us all on the status of Pulsechain. You're welcome there, Mark. Every day I'm trying to bring in the latest stuff that's in that 24-hour period. So it's sort of a bit like an archive as well in some ways. We've been absolutely lucky to, Richard often posts a lot of his stuff out when we're live streaming at this time. And so we've been able to get first on pretty much most of it, which is pretty cool. Been a lot of fun. Genuine in the house there. Good morning, all. Good to see you, Genuine. Dave Gomez as well. What's up, everybody? Hit the like button. Definitely smash the like button there. Katie in the house as well. Hello, world. A like, share, subs. Let's go. Absolutely, Katie. Katie, another of our other community leaders. So great to see KD doing great stuff in a lot of communities as well as Texan Token as well. He works in that group too. Brendan said, I had liquidity on all TV. Was it TV2 V4? Can I get the tokens to mainnet, or is this all just test tokens? Yeah, this testnet tokens, Brennan. Nothing on the testnet V4 is real. So the answer is no on that one. John Pike says, I went ahead and got a lot. I got a PulseX liquidity pool on V2. Do I need to add LP tokens to the pool to earn the fees? No. So the LP tokens are what you get from providing liquidity to those pools. So basically, you'll just earn the fees on those pools now. Now, will there be a farm pop up? We will see. We will see, because obviously the farm is a big incentive on V1. We'll see how Richard games that in the future. He may have certain farms pop up, is my guess. It'll just be interesting to see where he heads with that. He might have some of the smaller farms and some of the smaller liquidity pools on the V2 is my guess. Maybe some of the PRC 20 ones, popular ones possibly could go on there. If so, how? Or do I just leave them in my MetaMask? Just leave them in your MetaMask and earn the fees. You're earning fees in the liquidity pool at 0.22% of every trade in proportion to the amount of LP that you own of that pool. Yes, a big thanks to Brian's generosity, 100%, Anita. Brian does amazing. Hex Fetty says, Rich Hart and the devs actually did it. They did it. Pulsechain is amazing. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, there's always a few hiccups on the way, and, that's always part of a launch. But I think overall it's been very, very cool. And even with the PulseX, it's turned out to be quite a good gamification with the V1, V2. So I think people are going to get used to it. A lot of trading pairs, though. A lot of trading pairs. So that's definitely is the case. But we've got a lot of the roadmap for Pulsechain is yet to roll out. So we've got all the big NFT markets. We're going to talk about that today. We've got, what else we've got going? All the big DeFi protocols still to launch. A lot of the big infrastructure on top of Pulsechain to launch, like Fetch Oracle. So we've got lots of things still to come. It's going to be a fun first 3 months for sure. Dave Down Under says, so there's a red cape flapping around on your clothesline. Yeah, there is a Dave Down Under. You're right. It's actually the rain's getting harder, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to even watch it even more now. That's crazy. Shout out, thanks for the shout out, says Brennan. I got the last name right. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It took a bit of work, but I did it. Coin need to support Pulsechain in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's good news too. Around the tax, we're gonna have a tax service support Pulsechain, so that's great. Hex can pop up in the house as well. Rocket bags to the right. That's how we roll. We got the rocket bags up to the right. That's how we're going. And of course, Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, family? Always a pleasure to see Cleveland. Very, very cool. All right, let's get into the latest and greatest of the Pulsechain ecosystem, the health. We've got Pulse at the moment at 000153, down 1.61%. It is 1.53 times the sacrifice price of 0001. So it's still a great accumulation zone for Pulsechain. As we said, that the best strategy you can do is just accumulate in the early months, and potentially up in the first 18 months in particular to get pretty good returns. So yeah, accumulate when you can, obviously, and you need to do your own investment due diligence, not financial advice. But if you are participating, then accumulate is the best strategy. And of course, the history shows that too with layer 1 chains and stuff like that. So we're currently got a 2.3 billion pulse burned, which is pretty glorious. And we got, that's going pretty well. I mean, on top of that, of course, we've got all the validators staking. We're going to talk about that too. They're staking. They're making this look really small, but this is actually doing very well with the burn there on Pulsechain, 2.3 billion burned. Very exciting. Now, PulseX, we've got quadruple 0641. This is down 1%. And the ratio to this is below sacrifice, of course, which means the law of convergence likely to go back there. So this seems like an easy play on the PulseX, especially with the buy and burn being absolutely spectacular. Now the ratio to Pulsechain between PulseX and Pulsechain is 2.39. So this means that PulseX has got slightly stronger overnight because we were at over 2.4. Now we're at 2.39. So it's just slightly better performance of PulseX versus Pulse at the moment. We've got obviously the buy and burn there, 121 billion. So that's awesome. It's even gone up since I started the video title. So 121 billion PulseX bought and burned, which is amazing. 0.574% of the public supply. And of course, the number they're using here is 21 trillion. So amazing, all straight out of the gate there. It's exciting to see where this will go. And of course, over time, this will have a bigger impact on the perceived value of PulseX, right? So that's going to be bullish over time. You can imagine that getting up to 5%, that'd be pretty exciting, towards maybe the end of the year, depending on how the prices are and everything like that. It'd be pretty cool to see that. And it just slowly and surely starts to have an impact on perception of value. What else there? We've got the incentive token there down 7.22%. This was in a downtrend. And this was my worry that as the supply increased, we're now up to 1.94 million in supply on the incentive token, even with this being relatively small supply compared to, say, PulseX to Pulsechain. It is down to 161,500, but it is only slowly moving down at the moment, and it will be interesting to see where this goes from here. And that is down 7%. Now, we haven't had, from what I can see, we haven't had a whale route yet. So that's where a whole ton of whales start selling. And of course, everyone sells on top where you get that downtrend, gets really aggressive. So it's pretty modest, pretty slow sort of downtrend here at the moment, 161. It was about 170, wasn't it, yesterday, something like that. So not too bad there. Market cap, $48 million on that. Looking good. Now, obviously, if the price of Pulsechain, it's going to be interesting to see where that correlation goes. Obviously, these are all bonded together, so it's going to be interesting. Hex at the moment is at a 0.0183 on Pulsechain, down 2%. If we add it up with Hex on Ethereum, or eHex as we say, then the combined price is 0.0317, so just under 3.2 cents at the moment, which is actually consolidated there the last 2-3 days. So I think that's pretty nice at the moment. Let's jump into that. That is pretty much it on those ones. Let's go to the validators, have a quick look at the health of the system. 258.3 billion, that's with a B. Pulse is now state validators over $100 million. And we've got 20,572 validators, 342 entering. Now, this number seems stuck. This number seems stuck to me. This looks like the same number we had yesterday. So I'm not sure what's happening there. But definitely looks stuck, that number. We're at 22.9%. I'm going to bring up Pulsechain itself. And we're going to bring up Pulsechain and have a quick look at that. I want to go to the Explorer and just check that number. It's still saying the same number here, so unless this is stuck as well, it looks kind of weird. But that is definitely looking good, regardless. I know it does take, about 15 hours or something like that, I think, for validators that are entering to go live, something like that. So that's looking good. Looking at deposits, we're up to $161.7 million based on the current prices. And that's looking good there. USDC, DAI, Hex, ETH, USD Tether, and Wrap Bitcoin. are looking all pretty good there with the numbers. And of course, we want to keep increasing that, especially now that we've got all these different ways to on-ramp onto Pulsechain. And it's really the job of the community, influencers and project teams to spread the word, right? To get on more platforms. And I see that people are doing that, right? I've seen people like Robbie Davidson out there contacting lots of platforms. I see other influencers out there like Golkey out there doing, getting a lot of platforms to do it. I see KDP out there, lots of people doing it all over the place, which is pretty cool, getting more platforms. And that's what you want to do, especially in this current climate. So just get more and more places where Pulsechain is promoted and expand that ecosystem dramatically, right? Which is cool. When these people say, hey, we've adopted Pulsechain, PulseX, that means that they've often put it out to their own communities. And of course, that could mean hundreds of thousands of views on each different platform. And that's positive, right, for Pulsechain. So we're going to take over DeFi, take over crypto, and we're going to do that with a huge engaged community. So awesome. All right. I see people targeting the SHIB community, the meme communities, NFT communities, if you don't notice lately. But a lot of people starting to ramp up the NFT discussions on Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. We're actually going to talk about that coming up. I will be posting a Twitter Space as well on YouTube once it's finished downloading. So that's pretty cool. We're going to cover a bit more on the NFT space as well because it's a huge market. All right, so that is kind of cool there. Looking at PulseX, transactions are up 3.4 million, up 2% overnight from the looks of it. I'm assuming that's a 24-hour number. And of course, we've got the volume there, 71.8 million, down 30% at the moment. It says liquidity there at 398, so almost 400 million. It is up 4.23%, so that's looking good. I like that liquidity number there, looking good there. Looking at the gas, the cheapness of the chain, yeah, looking pretty good. Look at that, 2.5 million beats. We're 11 cents for a swap. It's 750 pulse, so it's definitely come down. I mean, I was paying what, 4 to 7,500 pulse for swaps back in the day, and of course now that's a lot cheaper, which is pretty cool. Pulse there, 1 cent for a coin transfer, 52 pulse, and PRC20 transfer, 2 cents there for 162 pulse at the moment. So that's actually really good. We're on a little dip here. Got a nice little dip at the moment, just while we're live streaming, which is kind of cool. Now, portfolio, this is coming to Pulseburn. So looking excited for that. Track the value of your bags. That is cool. So we're looking forward to that. But hey, what have they got on here? They got this. If you go to the main page, you got buy Pulse. So this is new. On ramp to Pulsechain by buying Pulse. And of course, we're going to talk about this briefly. On ramp to Pulsechain by buying Pulse. This is the first version of our on ramp with focus on maximum security. You might experience slightly higher loading times in the beginning. So obviously we have the official bridge at the moment. This is the official bridge, and you can actually find this link in the video description. But now you can buy on pulseburn.com, which is what we use to have a look at the health of the Pulsechain ecosystem. They're going to post that there as well. You can spread that around. People can pick up some Pulse and multi-chain, and of course a fiat on ramp using credit card services as well. So it's kind of cool like that. It takes a little while to render, at least on my computer. And of course, no registration or KYC. You guys know we love that in DeFi. No registration or KYC. Now, KYC is know your customer. It's pretty much a little basic. Well, it can vary in terms of how much identity information they ask, but that is know your customer there. Super low fees, so it's not going to cost you too much to use it. No upper limits, which means if you want some big buys, you can do some big buys. And of course, it's global, worldwide availability. And there is a little 5-minute tutorial there as well, which you can watch as well. I actually haven't clicked on this, but there is a little tutorial. You can see the tutorial here, which is pretty cool. And it'll just step through that, which is 5 minutes long. Now, I actually might post this on this channel after downloading, and you can check that out too. But that's a 5-minute video just showing how to step through that. We'll actually might just step through it just quickly. On here, you can see different stages here. Enter your address. You've got PLS receiving address as well, which is cool. I like that feature. And of course, refund address if you want to get refund. So you've got the ratio there, swapping ETH to Pulse. You can add your email for notification from the looks of it. They've also got those things sent the exact amount to the address. We jump through some of that. Exchange ID for that. What else they got going on there? Active exchanges. Just checking through that. And they've got a process bar here. You can see at the top there. and so on. So that is kind of the what did I do there? I don't want to do that, but that is kind of where that's going at the moment. All right, cool. So that is cool news. Another way of getting Pulse on the Pulsechain, cross-chain, and of course fiat on-ramp there too with that feature. And people have apparently used it. Looks good. But there's the official bridge as well. So if you can buy Rat Pulse, there's a particularly Rat Pulse on Ethereum. You can do that with the Rat Pulse contract, and you can send that and do that as well. So we need to switch the bridge over though. We need to be on Ethereum on this side. You can use the network change here, and of course you can buy Rat Pulse on Ethereum and bridge it over into native Pulse here. And of course that will just show up in your wallet. So it might take 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So yeah, but you can use these PLS burn. Now obviously we're seeing Beetroot out as well. Beetroot was out there, and of course there's all these centralized exchanges. So there's lots more options out there to swap around. All right, that is pretty cool. Let's jump away from that. So that's kind of the big news there. Let's get into some of the news around the ecosystem. It's ramping up all the heavyweight on-ramps and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't want a closed system. You want an open system. You got fiat on-ramps and you got cross-chain swaps, and then eventually super DEX aggregators. So that's kind of cool. Remember, not your keys, not your coins. Our fiat on-ramp will allow you to on-ramp directly on-chain. And self-custody is important to you. Of course, we love your keys, your coins, DeFi, and it could be your own bank. And this is from the Coast team. So cool. They are progressing. People in the USA will be the initial users of the fiat on-ramp beta release. Okay, but this excludes New York, Hawaii, well, I guess that's South Dakota, Texas, and CT. You can let me know what CT is. It California? I don't know. Not California. What's that? The Colorado? Let me know. I just can't think of what that is. CT at the moment. Let me know. Although Texas and Connecticut okay, maybe it's Connecticut. That's Connecticut there. Should be sorted very shortly. There we are. So that's kind of cool. So that's the first market. It's going to be launched with their fiat on-ramp, which is bullish. Coast there is also going to come to the UK. Fiat on-ramp coming soon for Ethereum and Pulsechain users. Likely second stage of the beta will be on for the UK. So beta going to be for USA and in the UK. Remember, they had no real regulation issues with the UK, so it was a quick, easy adoption one. And they're both two of the biggest markets anyway, so it's a good start there. So that's kind of cool. Then, of course, they said the fiat on-ramp coming soon for Ethereum and Pulsechain users. Likely second stage of beta for Australia as well. So it looks like not just the UK, but Australia is also going to get on there. And I know, of course, many of you out there are Australians, so you guys will love that as well. So it's kind of cool. Cool there from them. So that's kind of cool stuff. And of course, we're expecting the on-ramp next week. Okay, so the Coast on-ramp is expected next week, which is pretty cool from them. So thanks for coming to our Twitter space. We're excited to be launching the fiat on-ramp beta next week. So that is expected next week. And so stay tuned for, at least for Ethereum, right, with USDC before it comes to Pulsechain and complete the vertical integration, as they say, of a Pulsechain. So it is pretty bullish for that. The next big news, of course, is Mintra. We're talking about NFTs. This is the next one of the next big waves of the ecosystem and value creation is the NFT marketplaces. And I will be doing more on the NFT topics. Obviously, we're expecting the big three to come. Mintra, How to Pulse or NFT on Pulse, and of course Power City as well with their NFT platform, which I can't remember the name, but that's coming too. We'll talk about that in another video. But Mintra here has got the big news out today. On the 15th of May, they said Mintra running on Pulsechain testnet V4 privately, and of course sales, auctions, offers, mint, stake, buy and burn, all working wonderfully. Finishing up the NFT launchpad and Solidity audit now. We're close, so they're finishing up Solidity audit now. And of course, they can see 3 hours ago, they gave an update on that update on the 15th, and they said 3 hours ago, Solidity audit is complete. So good to see that is complete now. So these guys are getting very close to launching on Pulsechain. So excited to see that. Thank you to Coin Fabric for your amazing work in the last 3 months, and of course to finalize that up. So as you guys know, a big influencer used to stream a lot. It doesn't stream much now, if at all. But Gerardo is the sort of the front man for this project for the Mintra NFT marketplace, and it is one of the big three that we're expecting to come on. And of course, we're expecting to an NFT boom to go with that as well. So very, very cool. Next generation NFT ecosystem, launchpad, marketplace, DeFi, mint, stake, PLS rewards, and PulseX buy and burn. So it's got it all in one place. It's going to be pretty exciting to see. And of course, you can go to mintra.co to see all that. So very, very exciting. the smartest NFT ecosystem. Now, I know that Power City and How to Pulse NFT Pulsechain, they'll all be competing to be the smartest. So we will see how the features compare when they're all up and running. We don't really know what Power City is going to have. They're boasting that they're going to have a lot more features than that have not even been seen on the market. So we're looking for the innovation on Pulsechain, because that's just part of the things that helps attract more people to Pulsechain. So excited about that. So very, very cool. That is coming, and that is Mintra. So great news there. I'll post the link in the chat there if you want to go and say looking forward to it. Maybe you can follow them if you want to check it out. So that's cool. That is Mintra, and big looking forward to it. Now, I do really like the UI on there. You can actually go to their PulseX, I think it is, on the DApp. I also got the PulseX swap. They've added the swap there, but that's not what I want to look at. They've taken it off here. I think they may have. I've got the DApp here anyway somewhere on here. So cool. Let me go have a quick look at that while we're here. Man, it's raining even harder now. I'm gonna have to rewash all my clothes stuff that I've got out there. It's gonna be crazy, man. All right, so this is their website that they were with the testnet here, at least for a part of it. This is just at least the staking part and the burn part. Obviously, there's more to come with the whole marketplace and everything else. But that's kind of cool. I do like the green colors. It is different, and it looks very professional. So nice to see that. All right, so that is some of the cool news around that. Now, carrying on the NFT theme is PulsePunks. PulsePunks here had a Twitter space with some of the big marketplaces. So with NFT Pulse, with Power City, How to Pulse, and Power City. So I don't think they had Mintra there, but they had that. I'm going to post a recording possibly of that later on the YouTube channel, so people will be able to listen to that on and at least for the audience here on Hex Token. Now they've been running at the moment, and of course I think you can still mint these. I haven't really followed this project very closely, but they have definitely started to make a bit of an inroad here. But they had some pretty cool milestones today. PulsePunks has already surpassed 250 million Pulse in its secondary sales volume. So obviously, when your primary sales is where you go and mint out the NFTs, but your secondary market is when you start trading those NFTs, right? That's your secondary market. Full volume on our fully functional zero fee marketplace, which is pretty exciting to see. So they have their own marketplace for their own NFTs on PulsePunks. So really playing into that theme. And of course, that's pretty awesome. 250 million Pulse. I think that's really, really great. Cheers, PulsePunk family, to over 14.3 million Pulse in the community royalty pool that belongs 100% to you. So they have this certain tokenomics. They have this royalty pool, and it's got 14.3 million Pulse in it so far from early trading, which is pretty cool. Now they have their websites. What they got there? NFTs are useless JPEGs. My PulsePunks earn Pulse just by owning them, and apparently that's the way it is. So if you're trading, it's got that reflection going into the trade. Community royalty pool 14.3 million. Your PPs, whatever that is, I guess that's what they've got, and of course your share of the pool. So someone has got that as well. To ensure decentralization, anyone from the community can trigger the distribution of the community royalty. The button will be available once a year after October the 9th. So that's interesting tokenomics there. So there's 126 days and 22 hours until the royalties get paid out, and it looks like it's in Pulse too. So it's pretty nice. That's a good idea. Please wait until the year's community royalty is ready for distribution. So there we are. That's pretty interesting tokenomics there. Now, obviously, you've got to participate in this sort of ecosystem if you're memes and NFTs and things like that. But this is their DApp. And of course, I haven't really played around with it, but that is the DApp there. I don't even know if I'm logged on for this, but let's have a look here. Bam, bam, bam. Am I even on the right chain? I don't even know if I'm on the right chain. Let me have a look here. No, I'm not. So jumped over the Pulsechain here, and we're going to connect. Kind of cool. All right, so mint your PulsePunks. Available NFTs, 6,912 of the 10,000. So you got to kind of like the NFT market like this with the pixelations. Some people like those a lot. And obviously some of the early punks are worth a lot of money in Ethereum on Ethereum. So that'll be interesting to see on Pulsechain. Now, mint price there, 1 million Pulse per PulsePunk. And I think it's kind of randomness, right? So you don't know how rare and stuff your NFT is going to be. So you can get something, I think this is how it works typically. You can get something with a lot of rare traits, or you can get something with a lot of common traits. It's kind of the luck of the draw based on the way it goes. Let me know in the chat if you've actually got one of these, if you've actually got a Pulse Punk, if you actually have been part of this project. Now, I haven't really looked at this until today. I have seen Pulse Punks named around a few times, but you know me, I mostly spend my time in DeFi and staking protocols, as you guys know. But of course, I keep an eye on these generally because I'm covering Pulsechain ecosystem, generally speaking. So let me know. All right. So yeah, 1 times 1 million pulse, 1 million pulse there. So kind of cool mint there. I guess you can do a couple of mints there, and it's going to cost you 1 million pulse every mint there at the moment. And of course, this goes into the royalty. So every time there's a trade, it goes into the royalty, I guess. And there's currently 20.35 million in the community royalty, which will get paid out to you based on your Pulse Punks and how many you've got. There are only 3,088 at the moment. And of course, saying available here, 6,912 out of 10,000. So the max count is only going to be 10,000. Still quite a way to go. Once again, if you're into this sort of market, this sort of thing, that's cool for you. I prefer myself. I prefer DeFi and staking protocols. But look, some people like memes and NFTs. So it's something you can think about if that's you. Rarity. They have the rarity traits on here, which is pretty interesting. They have all the PPs. They have my PPs. It's sort of a nice play on Richard's PP, isn't it? I guess it's the one way you could look at it too. Yeah, it's sure that's not lost on them at all. But you got all the pulse here, rank number 5, rank number 6, rank number 7. So I guess these are ranked by the different attributes that they have. So you got hair and eyes and facial hair and network. So it's almost, you got to, really understand the properties of all these things, ears and nose, blemishes, the type as well, alien, ape, stuff like that. Let's have a look at some of the alien there. Not for sure if that's going to filter. Is it going to filter? That is alien. Those are aliens apparently. And what else? We've got apes. Let's have a look at ape. See what that looks like. Does it actually look like an ape or let's have a look there. Oh yeah, I guess they kind of look like an ape there. So they got different types as well. Female albino, female albino, and it's hard to say that, man, oh man. All right, so not sure what's happening. I felt like I got stuck in the matrix. We got zombie as well. Zombie in there. That's all like a zombie. Once again, you got to like the pixelated art stuff, right? So and obviously punks on Ethereum are worth a lot of money. So if you go to what should we go to? If we go to OpenSea, let's have a quick look at OpenSea to see the Ethereum ones, and we're going to go to stats up the top here, and you can see, you got Bored Apes at the top here, 46.4 ETH volume. What else do you got going there? I'm sure there's the Ethereum punks down there somewhere. You got Doodles, which you guys know have been around for a while. So you got a lot of these ones in here. I thought there was punks in here somewhere. What do we got up the front here? Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course. Mutant Ape Yacht Club. And I thought we had punks in here. So look at punks. Crypto Punks, that's the one. There's Crypto Punks and Crypto Punks V1 wrapped. Punk comics there. So these are the Crypto Punks. There are 9,996 of them. Created June 2017. So these things have been around a long time. Obviously been one of the top ones that you can see. You can see 1.1 million Ethereum volume has been traded. Is that insane or what? So some crazy stuff there. And of course, last sale, 60 ETH on this one. Last sale, 120 on that one. Obviously, depends on when you're looking at those times, but that sort of stuff there. So this is kind of playing on that theme, isn't it? Pulse Punks playing on that theme. So pretty interesting on that one. You got price and status, all this sort of stuff. Status there listed, rank. You got the ranks there, all these attributes as well. So you can check all that stuff out. Anyway, they've got the marketplace on here briefly. So the marketplace is 3,091 items. Obviously, you can go and mint a new one and try your luck with that, I guess. There's also the amount of owners, 408 owners. So that's interesting. Always important to know how many people are participating in the market. And if you want to get an idea, you can always compare it to some of those existing markets out there in terms of the Pulse Punks. 710,000 Pulse is the floor price. So we saw that people could actually mint them for $1 million, right? For $1 million Pulse, with the floor price is actually 710,000. So it's actually lower than that. Maybe for some of the more generic ones, possibly is the way that's working there. Best offer has been is at the moment that's in the market, 35 million for one of them. Currently only 7.7% of all the 3,091 are actually listed. Sales count, apparently it's been 225 sales. That sounds pretty decent for me, since it probably hasn't been around too long. Sales volume, 359 million sales volume, but of course that does include the highest sale, which is 100 million out of that. So that's pretty cool, and that just happened. So that's kind of cool stuff here. So the total market there past 250. What else we got there? 2 hours ago, one of the big trade happened, of course. Pulse Punk number 2890, rarity number 6, sold for 100 million Pulse. That's a pretty serious Pulse. That's some pretty serious Pulse going on there, right there. This sale is a victory for all holders. It directly contributed 5,550,000 Pulse to the Pulse Punks community royalty pool. And the mint is live, of course. You can still mint you out there, which is pretty crazy. And we can see that that's really bolstered this by 25% in the community royalty, just with that last huge one there, which makes up a huge amount of the actual volume in the market, which is 359. So pretty interesting there. Can you actually search? I guess you can search. Can you actually search here in the market by the NFT number? Don't know if you can. Must be able to do that somewhere here. All right, so cool. That is the one there. That's the picture. So that's the one there that sold for 100 million Pulse. 100 million Pulse that sold for. Wow. Okay. So cool. Right. That is pretty much it. So I want to highlight that. And they've got a Twitter space. I will try and post that later on. They do have an interview with some of the other two big marketplaces, other than Gerardo's Mintra one. So there we are. There's a bit of a covering different topic today. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Did I post the link to that? I'm not sure. Sure I did. Post the Pulse Punks here if you want to check that out, since I've been talking about it so much. Pulse Punks. Oh man, it's raining even harder now, so I've got to do even more washing. Apparently, it's going to be terrible when I get out there. What else? That is it. Pulse Punks. That is the link. And hey, look. Like I said, if there's something that you're into, check it out. Otherwise, don't check it out. That's just the way it goes. 18 past 12. And we're going to get into Hex Day stats soon. We've got day 1280 coming hot off the press. So we're going to talk about that. Before we do, though, let's get back in and check Richard Hart's stuff here. How we're doing? 48 minutes an hour. We're going to get into that. Let me just pull up Pulse Burn again. We're going to leave the video screen up on that. That is the current price of our leaders at the moment, Richard Hart tokens. Let's use in the chat here and catch up. What else? Let's jump way all back up here. I think I've got a bit to do. Definitely got up to Cleveland there. We got Stake Hex in the house there. First time I've caught a live show since Pulse came out. Tons of new names in the Hex Token family. You are the right place for the best info and community. Hey, thanks for that, StakeX. It's great to see everybody in the community too. We are growing, and we want to keep growing and growing and growing. What else there? Brennan says, morning, Superman and family. Good to see Brennan. Murky says it requires trust from a central party, though. Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're talking about there, Murky. Sorry. Let me know, because I can't remember what I was talking about at the time. What else? It should be called a cross-chain exchange. I think are you talking about the Pulse Burn buy? Let us know. I think that's what you were talking about there. Who else has jumped in here? Brent says, what's the best way to get copies of our ERC20 tokens from the ETH mainnet? Copies based on the May the 10th date, as indicated earlier in our Pulsechain MetaMask wallets. Sorry for asking several questions. What's the best way to get copies of our ERC20? Hey, what I do, Brennan, is jump into our Discord and the Pulsechain help, and we can help you in there. So get in there. We got a little chat there called Pulsechain help, and we'll provide you the links there. How about that? Murky's in the house there. You mean from the Pulsechain mainnet? Oh, you guys are having a chat there. We'll jump through that. We've got a few sites that allow you to find all the tokens that have been copied over with your address. So there's a couple of sites that we can provide you, and you can just actually put them on auto. The latest one, of course, on auto there. And do that. So we'll post that too. What else there? Hashtag family channel Superman. Yeah, I can't remember what that was about though, Bob. Can't remember what that was about. Yeah, definitely we're a family channel and a no drama channel because we're focused on great community and of course mad gains. And that's why we do. If you focus on drama, then you lose your focus on mad gain crypto. You can easily lose the plot on that. So we really try to focus on that as well. Sandy Beach, still no home internet. Starlink, Sandy Beach, Starlink. Anyway, Sandy Beach, there's still no home internet. Don't know what's happening there. You're in the United States of America, for goodness sake. You're supposed to have the best of the best. What's going on there? G'day all from Blobfish King. Good to see you, Blobfish King. Who else has jumped in here? Great news with Mintra. Yeah, I think that's really cool. So the first of at least of those three big ones that are going to come. So they're going to win and get there to market first. Who knows? We'll see. Pulse777 says, hey, Super Kiwi. How you doing? What do you think will happen to price of PulseX when, say, 10 to 20% of supply is burned or 50% of 80% burned? Could go through the roof. What do you reckon? Yeah, I don't even think you can do that even with a lot less burn. The Pulse 777, but obviously as we get through to different burning levels in the years ahead, it's going to have a dramatic effect potentially on the markets. Now it is really a buyer to sell ratio as well, and of course the bigger money coming in too. So there's a couple of variables here on the demand side that need to come in, but I think it's going to happen pretty well, especially as that PulseX is really going to stand out. But that's a great question. Yeah, I'm excited for where that's going to lead. I also had Kinetics on from Hex Investment Trust talking about them doing a Pulse and a PulseX investment trust once they get obviously the Hex publicly listed, the Hex Investment Trust publicly listed, because that's going to open up huge opportunities for big fiat money on the biggest markets in the world to access the rich heart ecosystem. And of course, that's taken them a little bit longer than I expected, but they're going to get there, I'm sure. So excited about that. What else we got going there? Desir win RH livestream. Well, we played RH livestream at the beginning of the livestream, DB. We played that at the beginning. We played it. It was 14 seconds long. Win livestream. Well, we're going to play it one more time for you, DB Cupid. There we are.
Hart here. I just want to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
That was for you, DB. I know that was not a live stream. It was a recorded video. But, hey, look, that's as close as we get at the moment, DB. It's as close as we get. Katie says PRC20 token scanner. Yeah, that's the scanner. You can use that one. I was going to post that to him in Discord, but that's cool. Thank you very much, KD. You're a legend. And, of course, I missed the Mintra news. I sacked for them. Nice one, Sandy Beach. Sandy Beach, your portfolio is going to look awesome with all these top-tier utilities. Excited for you. Who else has jumped in here? Archipelago. Hi, all from the open road in the USA. Nice one on the open road. You can't do much better than that in the United States. Play it, push. I hope you're pumping up that music, Archipelago. Yeah, pump it up. When you're on the road, that is. Obviously, you're watching or listening to Hex Token channel at the moment. Blink twice if you're being held hostage, RH. Yeah, blink twice. Yeah. Anyway, I've got to try and stop saying too much too. I'm getting a bit lazy with that. I was actually trying quite a lot to try and make sure I didn't do that sort of stuff. Just the way it goes. Let me pull up. We got the Hex token hot off the press, but I'm just going to queue up the stakes. So just let me do that while I'm here, because I wanted to get into the staking charts as well today. So we're going to have a look at that. We're getting a lot of good evidence for Hex at the moment. So we're going to get into the Hex daily stats with the results. Let me just set up the date that I want. We're going to do that. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. Let's do months. Let's do to the end of the year. 7 months, is it? Update. Right, 7 months. Okay, cool. Let's bring that up. So we're going to bring up the Hex daily stats. We've got the day 1280 hot off the press. You guys are here right now when it's come out. And, of course, is 12th day 1,280 on the ETH chain for Hex. Obviously, Hex is on Pulsechain now, and it's on day, 24, is it? So kind of cool. We've got the 4th of June, 2023. And we're almost heading towards halfway through the year. It's kind of crazy, man. It's just, time is, as you get older, time just goes so much faster, doesn't it? Every decade, the time goes faster. I don't know. What is it like when you're like, I don't know, if you're 80, if you reach 80 or 90, is it like absolutely like minutes and seconds going fast so fast? It's like, what the heck? You can almost probably see at that age, you can probably almost see time, time itself, whatever that is, to going past you. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, we've got the price there at 1.33 cents. We're down a little bit there, 0.4. You can see the volatility over the last 10 days as well. In fact, obviously that's been going, a bit longer, but you can see the up and down days. We've got the Hex payouts, which have been absolutely glorious. I'm absolutely loving these payouts, 6.529. And we know by the end of the year, this is going to be up over 7. We're expecting this to be about 7.2, 7.6, somewhere in that ballpark. So this is only going to get better if you've got T-shares, it's only going to get better for you. The T-share price there at $366. So it's at the current prices is a lot easier to pick up T-shares. It's pretty awesome. And the T-share increase today, pretty decent day, again, 33.5. And we know that the share rate here is 27,546. But by the end of the year, this is expected to be over 31,000. So earlier pays better. Why do I always highlight this every day? I highlight every day because it's really important if you are getting a position in T-shares that you take that into account. Now, especially by the end of the year, maybe end of the year decide to get T-shares. Well, you're going to be paying 31,000 by that time to get a T-share. Now, obviously, there are options like the Hedron HSI, Hex HSI auctions and things like that. But if you're going to get it from the market and have more flexibility, then this is what you're looking at the moment. Now, obviously, if you got longer pays better as well, so you can get this for a third of the price if you go longer pays better. Now, obviously, if the Hex decides to start moving higher, this Hex price, then this is going to get this way more expensive very quickly. This is what happens with market cycles. Average mining length there, 7.1 years. And of course, is that an all-time high? I think that is. Is that all-time high? No, it's not. Yeah, it was 13, wasn't it? 13? Yeah, 13. Yeah, 713. So we're not far from that. 710 is 7 years and 10, 7.1 years length there. We've got 39.1% APY at the moment. Liquidity in the pool, 193 million Hex. We've got 258,000 liquidity as USDC. So that's really down at the moment. That's going to allow prices to move up and down a lot easier. So we're going to be watching that. We've got a couple of days ago, we got the last of the big liquidity ended up pulling out. And of course, with the smaller pool, means people can, move the price up or down a lot easier. So we're watching this too. This is on the ETH chain. Remember, we've also got Hex on the Pulse chain. So you've got to add those two together. We've got ETH there at 189. And of course, you guys know I said that I expected this to be like this between, up to basically 5 weeks. And we have this volatility, and it does seem to be calming down a bit there. So we're going to be watching the LP as well. It's not just what people are doing with their stakes, in staking and things like that. It's also what the LP providers are providing a liquidity pool. So there's a lot, gains afoot on those things. And let's have a look here. What else we got going? We got T-shares increased by 741. We're at 9,912,000. This is amazing. Remember, we used to be over 11 million. Now we're down at 9.9 million. So the ownership pool of Hex is growing, is smaller, and the rewards there are getting juicier. And so our payouts per Hex per T-share by the end of the year expected to be well over 7. So pretty cool. 7.2 to 7.6, somewhere in that ballpark. So looking good. What else we got going? Lock percentage of all Hex at the moment, 9.31%. We got penalties. Look at how low these are today, 135,000. Sounds like volatility. Sounds like people are calming down, right? Let's look at these numbers here. We had all these penalties. Let's go back and have a look at the launch here. So look at that, 40 million, 48 million, and people were just smashing the Hex price on ETH there. And of course, got those big penalties in there. Then of course, the last 10, 20 days here, and all the penalties really high. Look at that, boom, 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 boom. These 1 millions aren't too bad, but when you're starting to get these 4 millions, that's definitely a lot more decision making going above the norm. And of course, then your last 10 days, 29 million, and you got these other big days as well. But then it started tapering off. Look, the last week, look at that, really tapered off on the penalties. People calm down, and today, very small, 135. So that's some pretty interesting little trends there. Now, current holders down, liquid holders down 79, so that's sort of against the grain. But we had better liquid holder numbers come down because those were also pretty volatile. Look at that during the launch of Pulsechain, and of course all the way back. So that was pretty interesting. But does sort of almost calming down, not quite there, but getting there on liquid holders. We're at 330,322. Change in miners, 0 apparently today. So apparently this nets out at 0 today. We had a couple of down days because we had all these large T-shares coming out. That's what we're going to look at the moment. So if we look at the global mining of T-shares at the moment on the ETH chain, we can see that we have actually got those big candles have already come out. So we can see that here, the big candles have already come out here. And we've got much smaller candles coming out here. Like tomorrow, there's only 46 million Hex. Next day is 85 million Hex. So that's a nothing burger. Then we've got a decent candle coming out after that, which is on the 8th of June. That's 223 million Hex. Not too bad after that. Then we've got another big candle there on the 18th of June. And then, of course, we've got some candles moving into the beginning of July. 277 on the 1st, to 351 million on the 2nd of July. But a lot of these are just short-term large holders that are just short mining or short staking there as we go. So that's pretty cool into that. And then, of course, we've got getting bigger gaps. We've got this big candle on the 24th of July, 414 million Hex. And then, obviously, the biggest one for the year on the 3rd of September at 630 million Hex. And by the time we get there, we got 390,000 T-shirts all up by the time we get to September. We've got big gaps in here. Look at these big gaps and so on. Now, amongst all this, of course, we've got these large short-term T-share holders that are short mining and scraping interest or whatever they're doing. And then we've got, as we move forward in time, we do have OG T-shares coming out as well. The spread amongst some of these candles will be OG ones, and that's going to continue, obviously, in the many years ahead, of course. So that's kind of interesting. So not too much pressure on the at the next couple of days from the looks of it. So cool. Now we've got the total miners 120,396. Total holders up 191 to 570,985. That is day 1280, folks. We're on day 1281, and Hex at the moment is going to pay us out 6.516 Hex per T-share. I love it, I really do. And of course, on the Pulsechain there, we've got 6.493 Hex per T-share. We actually had decent little penalties on Pulsechain lately. And of course, some of that may just be ratio trading or whatever. But that is where we are at the moment. So if we combine Hex on both chains, we're sitting at just over 3.1 cents at the moment on Ethereum and Pulsechain. So 3.1 cents on the Hex. Cool. So that's pretty much it on there. We've come up to an hour and 3 minutes, which is pretty good. I think we're going to slow down there. I am not looking at a lot of Pulsechain prices today. I haven't done that. Maybe we could have a quick look at some of those possibly, but we'll see. You guys know I've been covering a lot of different charts on different days. What else we got here? Jump through some of those. Spikes is very nice. Very nice. Someone said on Twitter that RH was AI. Yeah, it did look a bit like that, the video. I must say, it does look a little bit like that. Bob Wells is turning 60 this year, and I swear I'm doing my yearly taxes every month. Yeah. Time is moving faster for sure. That's pretty funny, Bob. What else there? Let's jump through that. We've got Anita in the house, of course. What else? We're going through some of that. Bob Wells says the 70s were a great time to be a kid, just saying. What else we got going? I think that, hey, look, Bob, I think that most decades were, pretty good. I think the last decade has been terrible. I feel sorry for the kids growing up now. I think just about every other decade was pretty good. I feel sorry the kids are being brainwashed and propagandized and abused, and it's only going to get worse from some of the stuff they're trying to do. So hopefully that will turn around at some stage in the future. What else have we got? Brendan says, what happened in the 70s? I wasn't around. That's a good one. Brendan. What else there? Or the 80s, Brendan says. Nice. Very nice. What else there? What else? Jump through some of those. DB says, thank you, sir. Hey, you're welcome, DB. You're welcome indeed. Hey, look, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. If you haven't gone to our Discord is free. The link is in the video description. Get in there and get chatting away. Make some online friends. And if you've got any questions, we've got a Pulsechain chat in there. We have some incredible people in the community in there that just like to help out people. So it's a good place to be. So cool. Right. USAC for 9-inch community members, only second DEX. We'll do well next bull run. Yeah, I'm not supporting the 9-inch DEX. I'm only supporting PulseX. So that's why I haven't really been covering it. I support mostly Richard Hart tokens there. So yeah, that's pretty much that one. What else? Yeah, I think that's where we're going there. Yes, I'm going to do some more content later on today on the NFT markets. So that should be cool. NFT markets there. What else am I going to say about that? Let's have a quick look at some of the. Oh, actually, I wanted to get out of there actually. So look at the Pulsechain prices. I think I've got them over here. Pull it up, man. It's raining. You can imagine how wet my my drying is. I thought I was going to be clever and get away with it. I thought, oh, I got a 50-50 chance. Although I did notice that the temperature was a little bit dropping, and no, I got smashed. My washing has got smashed. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to rewash it. Honestly, it's the way it is going to be. Let's look at some of the big movers. Let's go to the big movers here on Pulsechain. What else? Oh, look at this. They've got V1 on here. Look, V1. They've actually got the V1 and V2s on the PulseX now. Oh, that's fantastic. That's really cool. So they've actually got the V1. So if you go down here, can you guys see that? Hopefully that's clear. But you can actually see V1 and V2 now. That's new, so that's great. I hadn't logged on to DEX Screener, so that's cool. Look at that. That wasn't there yesterday. We just had these blanks. So that's so good. I just wish they had some sort of sorting for that, but they don't. But that's kind of neat. So we can actually look at liquidity, have a look at the bigger pools. So V1 still got the bigger pools in there, obviously, with the incentive token. But that's kind of cool. Very, very nice play now. Let's have a look at the biggest V2 here. PulseX is the biggest V2, number 10. So this is the biggest liquidity pool here. It says 7.5 million on that one. So that is cool on that one. And followed by a couple other V2s, EHEX, Hex, and Hex Pulse there, showing up pretty decent too. So nice, cool. That is very, very exciting. So look at the last 24 hours. We got Dump Token. Gunther. I guess it's under the Gunther, was it? Or Gunther there. That is up 11,244%. We've got some other dirty name tokens here as well, and other things that the little scam liquidity 1,000 with their percentages. Got to be careful out there. There's lots of scams that get put up. Anyone can put up a token. So there's lots of retail GGNs playing these little pools. So just be careful there. As you guys know, I strongly suggest going for the big projects, the utilities, the rich hard tokens, and maybe some of the meme coins, NFT marketplaces that make sense. So there's definitely opportunity there as well. And then, of course, waiting for the big DeFis to come later on, maybe another month from now. So cool. That is pretty much it. I'm just looking through some of these. There's lots of stuff out there. Now, time there. Time looks like it's doing much better. Time on V2. So time on V2 there is at 129 there. Now, it'd be interesting. You could go through each different project team and see which where the liquidity is as well. That'd be pretty interesting to go through. All right. What else are we going to look at? We're going to look at the new peers on Pulsechain. Let's do that. Let's go to Pulsechain and see what's going to pop up there. It looks like we've got two. So I've got the time here, 4 hours ago and 51 minutes ago. Paul Pleb PLD, Paul Pleb, whatever. How much liquidity in there? 89,034. But are they real? Are they real? You got to do your background checks. Obviously, I'm not doing that here live, but you got to check out things whether they're real or not. Tron, Rat Pulse, Lexitron. So yeah, take care out there. Some of these often a lot of the new tokens are crap coins or scam coins. So you just got to really take your care there going through them. Sometimes some of them are real, but you just got to go through and check them all out if you're in that game. So cool. That is pretty much it. I think that's where we're going to finish. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. I was quickly going to talk about actually the incentive token. Let's quickly talk about that. Or here we've got V1. So let's look at that and have a look at the chart. Switch it over to that's just switch it over to the amount of pulse at the moment. Let me just pull out of here. So that's definitely starting to slide now. So that was expected to see. And of course, it's going at a slower pace than I expected, which is probably in some ways not surprising, given the fact that you're earning the incentive and the farms, but there's also more supply. But there's no big red candles down at the moment. So none of this stuff here, none of that. So 152,000 pulse at the moment in the farms. It's obviously going to impact the farm yields on PulseX. So we've got a PulseX here. Have a look at that. Let's have a look at the farm yields at the moment while we're here. So the PulseX, the Rat Pulse, probably the least one you're concerned about is that 32%, $130 million in there. Looking at the stable ones, these are the ones that we really want to track the capital. 374%, 381, 339, 390 there for USDC, USDC, and DAI and Tether there. The Hex Rat Pulse, which is kind of an interesting one. That is 154% at the moment. We've got the two incentive pools down to about 240, 258. And then finally the Rat Bitcoin there down to 376% at the moment. So the best pool in terms of APR is USD Tether at 390% at the moment, which is about 1%, just over 1.07% capital recovery every day. So that's it's probably about 98 days, 99 days to recover your capital in there in terms of what you put in. Cool. I think that's it. Let us wrap up an hour and 11 minutes. Pretty good. I went for a bit longer there because I wanted to check out some of the stuff there. What else there? We got hit the like button, says DB. Definitely smash the like button there. Abit Hex says in house. Hey, good to see you, Abit. It's okay to support 9-inch. I'd rather have this DEX as most liquid meme DEX and DEX coming up from outside the community. I actually agree. He even said it multiple times. Yeah, I'm only supporting PulseX, so I'm just not supporting 9-inch. People are free to do what they want. That's pretty much it. What else? Jump into that. Hey, Sandy Beach, good to see you. Hello, Abit. So big shout out there to Abit from Sandy Beach. What else there? Pulsechain so strong after the launch, I think means great things in the future. Yeah, I think it's looking good, Russ, and building a nice platform to build up from, that's for sure. Thank you, mate, says Lorik. Hey, you're welcome, Lorik. And Bob Will says, great stream, suit man. Hey, you're welcome too, Bob. Good to see you in the house. Let's play out the video on the way out there. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live stream. Don't forget to smash the like button. I've got to go and rescue my washing off the line. It needs to be redone, I guess. So, yep. Let us get into some cool stuff. What am I going to play here? We're going to play that one. Have a look at the video. The short version or the long version? Can't remember which video that is on. 130. I think it's this one here. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good time, and I will paste this out. Bye for now. Peace out.
If it accrues so much value and gets so many users, yeah, the fees will go up, and you'll just get really, really rich holding Pulse watching. Oh no, more really, really rich people. Like, you can't, here's the thing. You cannot force a free market to keep things cheap, because then crappy use cases that aren't valuable will outbid useful and valuable use cases. And do you want your chain with limited capacity to be filled up with crap? No, you don't want your chain filled up with crap. You want it filled up with nice, good things. Well, then how do you know what the difference between nice and crap is? By bidding. And the people that see more value in the chain pay more to use the chain. And then your limited resource chain, through the bidding mechanism, is filled with the most valuable things that people can fill it with. And so this like socialist USSR decree that, oh, we're just going to have cheap fees forever, it doesn't work, because there's a finite amount of space and you have to allocate it to certain users. And who should you allocate it to? Those that can most afford it, because they're bidding with their money for how valuable the transaction is. So the solution to a limited resource isn't to screw around with the pricing. The solution to a limited resource is to create more of the resource. So the Ethereum chain is full. Great. Well, we're going to make one with 4 times more throughput, and it won't be full. It'll be empty, and let's go fill it up. Hart here. I just wanted to let you know that the Pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and PulseX.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all product, 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 product,
Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants. And it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants. And it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.